Hello and welcome to Graffiti Art Programming. Thanks for coming, and before you come in, we got to put on one of these. Come on in. So this is the beginning of the tour. This is what we call our hallway gallery. We really have to get a better name for it. But this is where we show the work of some of those graffiti artist legends that came out of New York City and the five boroughs in the late 70s and early 80s. We've got on the wall right there, we've got Wayne One. He was one of the real early graffiti writers in 1980, 81, 79, around there. Over here we have Risk, or Kelly Graval. He's from Los Angeles. Interesting story about Kelly. He's a real practicing gallery artist. And a few years ago, one of his old rolled up canvases from the 70s was found in a storage locker, and it sold for $60,000. So this young man, well, not so young anymore, he's really doing well as a gallery artist. Back there we have a piece from the Clandestino group out of Brazil, and of course Troy Lovegate's on the back there. But I like to talk about Alice here, Alice Mizrahi. Alice is credited, her and some of her friends are credited with evolving illegal graffiti. So her brother, who's 9 years older than her, he would go out and tag buildings with his friends and do illegal graffiti. And she always wanted to follow him, but he would say, no, you can't come out, you can't follow us. So then she and her girlfriends would go out, kind of following her brother, but her brother didn't know that they were, quite a distance behind. And when her brother and his friends would tag a building, they would go and they would paint these amazing portraits of people like Martin Luther King and Gandhi. And they would paint these portraits on these security steel roll-down doors that businesses used. So the next morning when the business owner would come to work, he or she would see the tags on their building and go, oh, someone tagged our building. But then they go around and they see the security shutter, and there's this beautiful portrait of one of these, social activists, social justice icons. And where they would paint over all the tags that her brother and his friends did, they would keep the pieces that Alice and her friends would do. And then that started a whole evolution, a whole transition of illegal graffiti, moving from vandalizing buildings to going out and doing more like public art and street art. So she's given a lot of credit for transitioning illegal graffiti to more of a street art aesthetic. Yeah, so let's move on. So next on our tour, I just wanted to show you our main gallery exhibition space. So our legal name is Graffiti Art Programming, and this is what we call Graffiti Gallery. This is the actual gallery where we show the artworks, and that's most people call us Graffiti Gallery. So this is the exhibition space. You'll see we have some of our classic paintings on the walls. These ones are from 1998, and that one's another one of our classic. But this is where the main studio classes happen. Because we don't have a space at Portage Place Mall anymore because of COVID, we moved all of our classes here. So we're standing on the dance floor, so this is where the dancers take their classes. And this is also where the visual artists and some of the performance artists work as well. Behind me, this is our COVID mural. So when the government, the province of Manitoba, started opening up different businesses and organizations, one of the earliest on the list was art galleries and museums. So we were able to open in June. And we realized that a lot of families were cooped up in their homes since March, and they didn't really have any fun, exciting activities to do. So we invited people to come here and help paint our COVID mural. This whole mural was outlined by an artist by the name of Nerio 2. He started off as one of our participants, and now he's just in such great demand. But Nerio conceived of the mural, and he laid it all out, and it's called Bubbles. And that's in reference to all the bubbles that we put ourselves in and during COVID to keep everybody safe. But once things started opening up in June, we invited families and the general public to come down. So we had maybe 100 people would come, and they'd have to make appointments, and only maximum 5 at a time. But people came, and they were able to hang out here and have just a fun activity. So this is our main exhibition space, and sometimes we have artists that come in from out of town, and they'll do huge art installations on all the walls. So in the past, we've had all the walls painted and covered with artwork, and that was a group from Montreal that came and did that. They painted in here for a whole week with a bunch of local artists, just to transform every single space into artwork. So this is, we call this space our sandbox, and this is where we can come and play and have a lot of fun. So let's move on. So this is the newest addition to the Graffiti Gallery, our recording studio. It's still a bit of a work in progress. We've had to close down our site at Porter's Place Mall because of COVID and move everything in here. But in Porter's Place Mall, that's where we had all this recording equipment set up, and where people would come and record their music. So now we moved it here to our location at 109 Higgins. And like I said, it's still a bit of a work in progress. But musicians are already starting to record their music. And this space for the neighborhoods that we serve in the North End, it's a cool, exciting, welcome, and safe space for kids in the neighborhood to come. And because of the impact that art has on their development and on their schooling, we're hoping that we really make a difference in the lives of young people that live here in the North End. So let's move on. So this is just a little corner of the larger gallery. It's an additional exhibition space. And right now we have an artist in from Calgary, and he's a graffiti artist. So we've asked him to do installations on these walls right here. And then later on, he's going to put up his art prints up against the wall, and we're going to try and sell them online. Because these days, you can't have people coming into the gallery for an art show. It really is affecting the way that we and other art galleries function. But we think that part of the legacy of COVID is going to be that we now have a really significant, substantial, and robust online presence as far as showing the artwork and teaching art classes. So yeah, that's what we like to use this little space for. So this space up here, it used to be an exhibition space, but because of COVID, we've had to convert it. And now this is where we film all the art classes that we put online. So the different visual art making classes, and some of the spoken word classes, just some of the other art classes that we put online. And this is where we record it, and we have students from our videography club class. They come and they learn how to, record everything, set it all up with lights, and work with the artist who is featured on the particular video. But that way they get experience with everything, and they get to learn beginning to end the steps involved in creating something that can go online. And we all know that that's where everything is these days. And again, like I said downstairs, part of the legacy of COVID for us is going to be the fact that we now have, and we will continue to have, a huge online presence as far as teaching art classes and offering art tips and advice and guidance to young artists. So now we're at the end of our tour. Thank you for coming. But before you go, I just wanted to also thank the United Way for your investment in the work that we do. Without the United Way, we would not be able to do any of the things that we talked about today. So thank you, United Way, and please, everybody, find a way to support the United Way. Thanks, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.